Uh, at this time, I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Sharon Schweizer, who is a biodynamic cranial synchro therapist. Did I get that right, Sharon?
Yes, you did.
Good. Finally. So, Sharon, I'm going to set you up on the full screen. Do you need the ability to share your screen?
Unfortunately, my tablet is not connecting to the Wi-Fi here, so I'm on my phone, so I'm not going to be able to share my screen today.
Okay, no problem. We'll just go ahead and spotlight you. That way everyone can see you. And
Okay.
there you are. You have the floor.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm Sharon Schweizer with BioWavz. I'm a biodynamic cranial sacral therapist and wiggly waves therapist. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the wiggly waves side of it. And the topic is relieve pain without drugs. So that's one good thing about what I do is it's a hands-on healing technique. But before I start that, I want to tell you how I got interested in it kind of briefly. I must have some kind of sign on my car that says, hit me, hit me, hit me, because I've been in several accidents where I'm like sitting at a stop sign and someone decides to run into the back of me. Or one time I was sitting at railroad tracks when the things were down and the train had just gone and they hadn't gone up yet. There was a truck in front of me, and then someone decided they thought they could go and hit me in the rear of my car. And then another time I was T-boned by a lady in her 1997 Mercedes-Benz tank. A little piece of plastic fell off her car and my car was totaled. And it really shook me around inside that car too. And then another time a lady decided to run a red light. She had borrowed her aunt's car. She didn't even have a license. And so these kind of accidents that I'm in have been debilitating to my body as far as some injuries that I've had to my lower back. And each time another accident happened, prior to that, I had recovered, but then it exacerbated again. And I was like, finally, like, I don't know what to do. It's just the sciatic pain is terrible. I'd been to doctors, which are great, been to physical therapy, which helped some, but I was still having sciatic pain. And I was at a seminar once, and one of the people there saw me walking like I'm like 89 years old, like I can't hardly go anywhere. And they said, come here, I want to, do a little treatment on you. It'll only take we only have 20 minutes. Let's do that. I'm like, fine. Because at that point I was like, whatever, anything that could help. So she put me on this massage table and just kind of did this weird, shaky movement thing with my legs. And afterwards, the sciatic pain didn't hurt anymore. And I was like, my calves hurt though. I'm like, well, now my calves hurt. And I was thinking, well, maybe they already hurt, but I couldn't feel them because the sciatic pain was so bad. And so the next day we were at a seminar. So the next day we had 10 minutes. And I said, can you just do 10 more minutes on me? And she did 10 minutes and all the pain went away. I didn't have pain for 2.5 weeks. And I was like, wow, I've got to learn this technique because I know so many people that are in systemic pain, like it works for fibromyalgia, it works for sciatic pain, and you don't have to take medicine for it. And it's cumulative. So I had those two days in a row and 2.5 weeks with no pain. So then I came back home and I found someone who I had to travel to pretty far out of town to get to. And have maintained that with farther apart sessions. So it's like, I don't know if it'll ever go away. It might, but right now I go about once every 6 to 8 months to kind of keep it in check. And so that's what I learned about it. I'm like, as I was learning about it, I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. Let me take a class. And so I took a seminar and learned that this resets your nervous system. So it's like you have some kind of trauma, and it doesn't have to be a car accident or multiple car accidents. It can be something just that you've had for a long time, or even something acute, like just a recent injury. And I'll go over some of the other things that this will help with in a few minutes. But it resets your nervous system back to a time like before that happened. And it's like, really? Well, that's kind of cool. And it uses passive movement. So when I was laying on her massage table, and it's not a massage, and there's no pain when you're getting this treatment. It's like totally pain-free to get it. In fact, if it hurts, you should stop. And it's just totally passive. So I wasn't doing anything. I was just letting her like wiggle me. And then there are some things too that as a therapist, I teach you to do at home so that you don't have to come in as often between sessions. And you can learn these, just depending on what you have, there's different movements you can do. And I was going to do a demonstration, but I can't share my screen and we're all sitting down, and that's okay. I'm not going to do a demo. But there's passive movement that I would do as a therapist, and you would just be relaxed. And I've had some people say, yeah, I just feel like a wet noodle afterwards. And it's just been pretty cool. And then there's the active movement where what I teach you to do between sessions so that you can have sessions farther and farther apart, or maybe never again. So some of the things that it's good for, I was going to share, but let me just go through some of them because it's a kind of long list, and I shortened it expressly just for this presentation. So reduction of excessive muscular tension, I think is what. It can help with increased range and ease of motion. General improvement in coordination of motor patterns. Deep relaxation. It can improve posture and restricted movement. Like if your shoulder only goes to here, we can make it go to here. It helps with the management of many different kinds of pain. It improves local circulation, chronic and degenerative conditions. It helps the improved feeling of your state just as a whole, because if you have constant pain or pain that's bothering you even for like 3 or 4 weeks, or even just pain that's even one day, that distracts you from feeling good overall. So this gets rid of that, so it makes you feel good overall. It can calm emotional and cognitive states, calm down the mind. It's good for the effects of asthma, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, stroke complications, spinal damage, and other severe physical and neural injuries. Since it works with the nervous system, it really benefits those kinds of injuries. It also helps restore emotional balance, because when you're all freaked out about pain, this can bring you down so you can cope better, and an overall improved quality of life because of not having pain all the time. So those are some of the things that this Wiggly Waves, which I entitle it because it's a more fun sounding thing, Wiggly Waves, can help with. On my last day of school for learning this technique, we got to work on actual clients. And my client was someone who had never had this before. She was in constant pain, but I was just like, okay, I got to do this, and it's our final, it's like our test. So we have to follow a certain procedure and everything to pass the class. And so she was like my first client. So worked on her, and afterwards she was crying. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've hurt her. Even though I asked her, are you okay, during the process? If this hurts, let me know. Maybe she was just too embarrassed to tell me or something. Maybe it didn't really bother her that much and she didn't want to say anything. I was petrified. I'm like, oh no, not only going to fail class, but I've injured this woman in some way. And so I started to cry because I was like sad. What have I done? And then she came to me and she hugged me, and I was like, she said, this is the first time I haven't been in pain in over 2 years. And so my tears turned to tears of joy because she was not in any pain at all. And this was profound. She had fibromyalgia, and to be in constant pain for 2 years and then not have it, she was overjoyed. And that's what another support for me that made me decide that this is really something that I need to do to help people who have injury pain or just chronic pain or just acute pain. And so that's what I do now, is help people in that regard. I do have a special coming up on Saturday, February 13th, where you can experience this for yourself, kind of get a test of it to see what it's like, because it's otherwise difficult to explain. Where you can schedule a 15-minute or a 30-minute session, because a lot can happen in that amount of time. And you can do that online at biowavz.com. It'll take you to my scheduler. Just go to February 13th and fill out the little your name, phone number, and click the time or times that you want. So if you want 30 minutes, just schedule 2 times next to each other, and 2 15-minute sessions next to each other. And this is pay what you can. So I'm not asking for a specific amount of money. It's just pay what you can, but there's not going to be any income questions or anything like that. Some people will say, oh, it was so great, and pay a lot. Some people, oh, it was okay. That's okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Pay what you can. And so that's really it for me. Does anybody have any questions?
You said it's biowavz.com?
Yes, and I put that in the chat. It's BIOWAV as in Victor, Z as in zebra.com.
Is this something that you're able to bill insurance for?
Not at this time. It is self-pay. I am looking for a way to be able to do that, though.
Sharon, I hope to see you next Saturday. I was in at Abby's and got a massage from her, and she kind of dabbles in it. You know, she will wiggle my leg and with pain. And honestly, I don't know if it's the same thing. I'm sure you're way more in depth, but it helped during my massage. I have sciatica pain, piriformis, psoas, glutes. I mean, it's all, that's where I hold all my tension down there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to come and see you. I saw your room back there. It's quite nice the way you got that room set up back there.
Yeah, it's in a little bit of a transposition right now, so there'll be some new things coming in and some old things going out, and so it should look even nicer soon.
Okay.
Sharon, what's your time frame on that Saturday?
Between 1 and 4.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon, how about neuropathy? Because I have like chemo neuropathy.
I would have to check on that to let you know specifically yes or no, but anything to do with the nervous system. And I know neuropathy can be caused by some other diseases like diabetes, and this can also help with diabetes. So I'm sure after a certain number of sessions that could actually improve.
Okay.
And I want to reiterate this, it's not like I felt great after just 2 sessions. I felt better after 1, and a lot of people do. But for some things, like I mentioned Parkinson's disease, people with Parkinson's feel good just after 1 session, but they can feel great after like a year of sessions. And so it's a progressive kind of thing. People tend to have more sessions kind of closer together, and then they can be spread out to where, like I'm at now, where I go like once about every 8 or 9 months, and that has spread out since even the beginning because it was every couple of months. So it works like that cumulatively, so that after a while, you know, I may not even have to have it anymore. Put myself out of a job.
Looks like there's a corporate site that's biowavz.com.
There's a BIOWAVE, biowave.com. That is they have some kind of product. So mine's BIOWAVZ.com, and it's BioWavz of Central Indiana. The full name of my business is BioWavz of Central Indiana.
I've put the link to Sharon's website in the chat here for everyone.
Yep, that's it. Thanks, Ryan.
How long have you been doing this now?
I've been doing this this will be my 4th year. My 4th anniversary will be this summer.
Sharon, where are you located?
Well, right now I have 2 offices.
Mhm.
The one is at 7210 Madison Avenue. Down on the south side is near Southport and Madison. And that's the only one where I do the Wiggly Waves.
Okay,
Because my north side office up near 96 and Keystone, I do the biodynamic craniosacral. I do both of them at the south side, but there's not enough room for me to work around the table on the north side to do the Wiggly Wave. So I only do that on the south side right now.
okay, thank you.
Mhm. And if you click either my website or click to schedule, the address will come up in both those places as well.
Mhm. Okay,
Awesome. Does anyone have any other questions for Sharon? All right, well, let's give Sharon a hand for her presentation today.
Thank you. I appreciate the time. Hope to see some of you.